Hey y'all, welcome in, welcome back to the channel, welcome to a new video. We're talking about a really interesting little niche of the restock genre, and that is the purse restock. And not even people packing their bags to go out. No, the purse restock station, because it's not enough to take your purse out. You now need a full-on station in your home in order to do this apparently adequately enough for the TikTokers. We need purse restock stations now. We're gonna get into it in just a second, but I have been obsessing over something lately that I need to share with you. It's dying to come out. For the past year, maybe even longer, I have been saying that I want to learn sewing, and I finally did. I went over to my partner's mom's house. She taught me the basics. I loaded my her sewing machine, did some practices, and then I hemmed a pair of pants. This is what the pants looked like before, and the reason why I wanted to hem the bottom was because they were initially just a raw hem, just like a nice clean line at the bottom. They have since gotten gnarly over the past 5 years, especially because I wear them a lot. So I'm like, this does not look cute. It does not look good. I'm gonna fix them. And I did. Let me show you. I'm so excited. Let me show you. Who is she? She's a seamstress. I did that. Y'all. That's it. That's what I want to do now. Okay, into the video. Now, if you've seen these videos, these purse restock videos, there are a few different ways they look. Some people use purse towers. We'll talk about them. Some people have big organizers. But I think the most common type is the acrylic organizer. A creator will fill this organizer with random stuff. A lot of single-use stuff. We'll talk about it. And they'll showcase the filling up of the container. And then occasionally you'll see them grab stuff from it and go. One of the reasons why these videos are so popular is because there is an element of practicality, even if that practicality has been stretched to its greatest lengths to become unpractical. There is still an element of practicality. People see these videos and they go, oh, wow, that's so useful. Because I think a lot of people who wear purses, own purses, multiple purses, there's that moment when you reach in your bag and you don't have your lip balm or your whatever it is. And these videos are super easy for creators to continuously post on their channel. There's an interest in them. They benefit the creator in terms of views. You can usually link the storefront. And then you can also do theme videos. There's a lot of benefits for the creator. And while these videos have a semblance of practicality, influencers have taken that semblance and they've taken advantage of it in order to promote overconsumption. Having a place, a designated spot where you turn over your purse or having a few extra things, that's not a problem, and that's not really what we're talking about either. So we'll look at how these videos promote overconsumption and excess, how you may potentially be influenced by these videos, but we'll also look at some people who provide alternatives. Let's get into it and let's watch our first video. All right, now that you've seen the video, I would like you to guess the price as to how much all of this cost. My initial guess was $100. Some of these items look like they average about $5, or that was my assumption, that they should average about $5. But then when I saw the Sol de Janeiro creams, those retail for about $24 each, $25. They're like $48, $50. So I'm like, all right, maybe not 100 because that would take up just about half the budget. And I was like, hey, 130. It's gotta be 130 max. I calculated the price. Lock in your guesses now while I talk to you about what I included and excluded in the price. This creator is from Australia, but she has this stuff on the US and Australia storefronts. And I calculated this based on the American storefronts. So not everything was findable. So I did not find the Summer's Eve wipes. I have the teeth whitening strips, but just it's the same brand, but slightly different version. For the Touchland hand sanitizer, she featured 3 of the $16 hand sanitizers. I just did the 3-pack for $30. Spoiler alert, I guess. I also did not include the claw clip, scrunchies, or hair ties because I felt like this is a reasonable thing for people to go through their home and grab a few. Oh, I also did not include the chargers because they were out of stock. The power banks. So without those things, this is a grand total before tax, $220.84. That does include the container, which on your first purchase you would still need to buy, but without the container, it was $198. $200. $200 on literal random crap for your purse. What ups the cost of this are the many single-use items. Some of this stuff does not need to be in the purse restock, let alone in the mini single-use item version. There are, for example, mini wet wipe packs that have, I think maybe like 10 or something in that. Better value for money if we're going to put those in the purse. You could also just use the hand sanitizer. I know that's not like the same as washing your hands, but if you want to like do a little cleaning moment, even after you eat, we could do the one thing because we don't need to live out of our purses for the most part. You're never that far from the washroom for the most part. And then if you're not eating, like let's say your hands are dirty, hand sanitizer, you'll probably be fine with that. The makeup wipes are super popular inclusions on these videos. And there's something that don't make a lot of sense to me personally because your purse goes out with you in public. This is stuff you're bringing out with you in public, not a night over at your friend's house. This is like everyday purse items. How many times have you taken a makeup wipe to your face in a public space? Not a gym either, public space. Me, it's 0 times. Look, if you do it regularly, great. These wipes may be like an option, but I don't think the need exists in the degree that these videos imply to have a stash of them. So I've heard some people like to use these to take off their makeup before the gym. That's also fine, but there are options that aren't single-use wipes, number 1. Number 2, if that's what we're doing, where's the moisturizer? It'd be kind of wild to just take off your makeup and then put on nothing after, but to each their own, I guess. Also, this is not a gym bag. This is like refill for your general purse needs. And there's other ways to do this besides the single-use makeup wipe. You could pack a mini bottle of cleanser. There are truly many bottles out there that won't take up a lot of space. And then you can also have a mini moisturizer. Not only is that refillable with stuff you already have, but it's also super small and will fit the bill. And you can just keep that instead of buying new stuff, like keep buying individually wrapped single-use wipes. The hand sanitizers, like I mentioned, she features the $16 ones, but I put in the $10 one in my cart. You can still do it far cheaper than $10. Get yourself a bottle of Purell for about $3. Even if you wanted to get bougie with it and do the Bath and Body Works ones, those are about $5. And you could also refill your hand sanitizers from a bigger bottle. The reason why the Touchland sanitizers are featured in so many videos beyond the purse restock is because they are sellable. They are a much more sellable product than Purell. So I'm mentioning some of the money aspects of things that even if you do want to do a restock station I'll show you more examples at the end of some alternatives. It doesn't need to cost this much. And what I think adds and fuels this cost is this specific container. This is so popular, and I checked a bunch of creators who use the container that look like this. They're all linking the same one or two. It has 16 compartments. When you have 16 compartments, it encourages you to fill them. And because these are influencers who are trying to make money, it's good for them to refill all 16 to show you a wider variety of products. And then if they make these videos seasonally or a few times a year, maybe, I don't know, more or less than seasonally, then they can turn over and show you 16 new products. This is great for the creator, but as a viewer watching, do you really need 16 different things for your purse? And if you have things you want to use for your purse, is there something that you could use already? Or perhaps a different version than a throwawayable product. Disposable would be the better word. Like the Wisp toothbrushes. What are you going to do? Have that loose in your purse? That's such a wild item to me, for people to put in these. Hers came in the little four packs, like in plastic bags. So you're going to toss all 4 into your bag. If you do want to brush your teeth on the go, there are mini toothbrushes. I owned one when I had braces. The toothbrush component would it would go into a little compartment, and then you would flip it up and then put the base of the toothbrush into the holder so you could, hold it, and then a little mini toothpaste. That's a much better option than these random disposable toothbrushes. Okay, next up, we're going to look at a video from a different creator, and let's just watch. So the caption for this says, restocking my tumbler packing station. Everything is always on my Amazon and or LTK like to know. Like to know it? This creator does these restocks about once a month. Sometimes she pitches them as purse restocks, other times as mini restocks, other times as tumbler restocks. And we'll get to the tumbler packing portion in a little bit. This was sent to me a few times by a few of you, some on TikTok, some on Instagram. This has got to be one of the wildest versions of the acrylic tray style. I guess a note about this video. I know we're like 20 minutes in already. The videos are just going to get wilder and wilder as we go through. Yeah, so I say that because we have $80 in hand sanitizer. $80 of hand sanitizer. We also have about $600 in AirPods, just casually thrown into the box. That has got to be the wildest part for me, because who has 3 spare AirPods that are just hanging about their house that they're not using? They're just thrown in this box, treated in this grab and go style like it's a granola bar. It still kind of renders me speechless when I see things like this pitched to people. All of this stuff is in here, in my opinion, because of the aesthetics of this. The first video we watched, I think, is trying to play on the usefulness of everything in there. Whether or not they're successful is another thing. But the particular items in here, I feel like go into her beige aesthetic. If you look through her page, she is a very big beige kind of gal. Not digging on that kind of stuff appeals to me, even though it's kind of like a meme at this point. The specific items are all because of the way that it looks, opposed to the way that things function, in my opinion. And like we have doubling up on things too. We have deodorant, like mini deodorant from Native, and then deodorant wipes. Why do we need both? Right? We have the Sunday Friday mini lip glosses because, in my opinion, of the way that they look. And the e.l.f. eyeshadow also kind of goes with that beige and white aesthetic going on here. And the 4 or 5 car keys. Putting makeup in these boxes is so wild to me as well. Not wild to me in the way that the AirPods are, but because it's not functional. It makes sense to me if you're using a single shadow of any kind to put it on where you do your makeup and then take it with you. To either store your single shadows with your purse stuff, I think is a recipe for not using it, or implying that you have 2 versions. You have one that goes in your makeup bag or your makeup application area, and then you have another that goes into your purse restock station so you can grab and go match. It just doesn't make sense to me. And so this to me is an indicator of stuff being for the aesthetic opposed to using it or it actually being a worthwhile inclusion, something that adds value. Now to the Stanley portion of this. She treats her Stanley like a purse. So in a way, this is still like a purse restock video. I'm going to show you the Stanley video on the screen here. And you're going to see her using her more updated version of this. This is from about a month ago, and she did post a newer version more recently. And she uses that to pack her Stanley. The reason why I didn't include the newer version is because you get to see it in this video and you get to see her pitch new stuff that you didn't see in the original video. So you get to see how many of the products turn over. This annoys me because like I'm like super petty about the Stanley, I'm going to be honest, but because her and other influencers who do this, she's not the only one. They pitch us stuff to put inside our purses, to stock our purses with. And then they also pitch us specific purses that they're using. And then once they've done that, they go out and they pitch Stanleys to function like purses. They pitch us purses and then they pitch us more stuff. They pitch us more stuff. That is what frustrates me about the influencer culture online in videos like this. It's the constant pitching of stuff. We'll pitch you one thing and then we'll pitch you another thing that does the exact same thing so you buy more stuff. This is how you get to the end of the month and you go, where did all my money go? And also, there's a sanitizer holder, the Touchland sanitizer holder to hold your Touchland sanitizer is $20 for a freaking holder for your sanitizer that you don't need. This is how you overconsume and overspend. They pitch you these little itty bitty things that have a semblance of practicality, or it's a $20 here, $10 there, and then there goes all your money. This stuff really adds up. We're going to move on and we're going to look at 2 videos from one influencer because this goes into more of what I'm saying. People pitching us multiple things to do the same thing. Do you notice how similar products are being pitched in these videos? We had those floss holders. These are about $4 each. We also have the makeup wipes making another appearance. And then she has these stall mates. I wonder how commissions are affecting these because about a year ago we were seeing everybody pitch different wipes, wipe that tush. Usually, sometimes dude wipes, depending on the use case. The wipe that tush, they're still being used, but I've been seeing an increasing promotion of stallmates. It could just be that they are a new product that are exciting people, or it could just be that the commissions are better. It's fairly common as well to see themed restocks. This creator also did a pink themed restock in a very similar way in January. This one was from mid-February. So the themed restocks are ways to sell us more products, and hopefully one of the themes appeals to us, but also gets to keep these videos that do well in the public's mind, getting people to putting them in front of people regularly with slightly different versions of things than they've already seen. We also have the closet. I want to talk about the closet. In the center of the closet, I'll put on the screen, there's an entire basket system. All of the labels on this say either on the go, mini beauty, or travel. One of them is mini bags, but even of the 9 fall into one of those 3 categories. All of these are things that she uses for her purse restocks. We are restocking the restock station. This is unnecessary to show, in my opinion, because you are not a store. You, the viewer, you are not a store. Your home doesn't need to function like a store. She is normalizing the large acquisition of goods. And this goes to an interesting conflict that I feel like is happening in this video. This person is a content creator. And I bet a lot of the stuff that is in the closet is for her to do her job, but she's showing it off like regular life. This is one of the problems why I have with it. She's accumulated all of this stuff by running her business because she is a business, and she very likely only owns this quantity because of the business angle. Perhaps she would own this much if she wasn't a business. We'll never know, but I think that the more likely scenario is that she owns this much because she's a business. She then shows off all of this stuff like it's normal, but her consumption levels are that of a business. They're not normal. They are abnormal, and people can treat her closet and her consumption levels as normal and aspirational. And the reason why this can come across as looking normal is because we see so many content creators doing this, showing us their large collection of stuff that they've accumulated by their job as a content creator. And then we, as viewers, look at that and we aspire to own that much stuff. And so people ultimately want to end up consuming like a business, but you are not a business. You do not create content. You do not get the perks of content creators. You don't get the business expenses. It's potentially a byproduct of producing this kind of content, this video, but it's also a choice that content creators don't need to make. She could have filmed this video, still would have been problematic, but she just didn't need to show you the closet full of minis. I hope I was clear about people wanting to consume like businesses and the business consumption appearing normal. Let's now look at a different TikTok from her from about last summertime. About a year ago, she pitched a mirror as a restocking station. And just a month ago, she pitched the acrylic organizer to be your purse restocking station. And we also have, we have completely different setups, and we have almost, if not an entirely different set of products. Stuff that you don't need multiples of, let alone quantities. Like, you don't need 6 Tide-to-Go pens. You don't need mini bags at all. You also don't need this mirror in order to have a purse turnover area. We're selling people things they don't need in quantities they don't need. And also, creators do it in the most expensive way possible because they make the most amount of money. They benefit more if they sell you disposable products you need to repurchase instead of selling you something that's like a mini travel bottle that you refill with your own cleanser. And then we'll do it all again 6-7 months down the line, selling you a different purse restock station that's a must-have and essential. Whenever I make comments like this, talking about creators selling people things and creators being businesses, I get the comment almost without fail, well, businesses exist and businesses do this too. You don't get mad at businesses. First of all, just because businesses and brands do this, they sell you shit you don't need, doesn't mean that that's okay. It also doesn't mean that specific brands aren't promoting overconsumption. That is happening. Yeah, brands promote overconsumption. It is, however, different when influencers do it. It's different when they try to convince their viewers what's happening is real life. They also have the perk of being a person disguised as a business. When you shop at Nike, you know you're buying from a business. Brands can try and personify themselves as much as they want, but they still usually appear like a business. And they typically can't get to the same level of appearing like a person as an actual person. A person talks and acts and they showcase their life and you can see them. She is a business who gets to appear not like a business. And that can make it really easy to forget that fact, or that she can write off a ton of the stuff in her videos as business expenses. People trying to sell you things you don't need are not your friends. Pages like hers are just like walking advertisements. And it can be easy to forget this when you are caught in a cycle of overconsumption, when shopping brings you so much pleasure, or when you're on specific rabbit holes looking at, purse restocks or restocking videos in general. Or if you find somebody's content particularly aesthetic, or you find somebody in specific particularly likable. And also depending on the time of day in which you're watching content. A lot of the time, myself included, when I watch content at nighttime, my critical thinking is dialed down. I've mentioned this on the channel quite a bit over the past few weeks, and I've said it, if your critical thinking is dialed down, or these specific videos don't encourage critical consumption, which this doesn't, I am not exempt from this. I watch a lot of content at nighttime, and that content I am highly specific with because I know my critical thinking is down. And that is when I can be swayed to find things exciting or enticing. Or I do compare and despair and feel bad about myself in some cases. Or I just want things too. I was watching somebody's vlog a couple weeks ago, and I just found myself wanting all the stuff in their videos. And I stopped watching because in the morning I was like, wait, why was I so bothered by this? And I journaled and everything. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to watch this content anymore. And I switched to different content. We're all good. If our critical thinking is turned off at nighttime and we're watching these kinds of videos as a way to escape reality or, de-stress from the day, and we're watching content that pitches shopping and goods and things on practical levels, or things that are enticing to us for whatever reason, we can want to buy them. And we can forget that maybe we don't need them, we don't use them, and that shopping itch can be activated. One element of this trend that we're going to talk about now is the purse tower. The purse tower is usually the Alex drawers. It's kind of, I don't know, it tickled something in my brain to see this because I've only ever seen Alex drawers in the makeup community and people putting their makeup in it. And then when I see creators using them as purse restock stations, I was like, oh, there's another use to this. Anyway, so they're usually the Alex drawers, but not always. I've seen some plastic drawer organizers, and they're taking the purse restock station and turning it into a tower of it. I'll show you a few examples on the screen now so you can see a few different versions of this. Book the Shopaholic has made purse tower tours for a long time, since about 2022. I'll show you a video of hers from 2022 and then early March, and they look really similar. I found a ton of these creators with these purse towers, and the people who have the purse towers typically are producing a lot of shopping and hauling content too. These feel different than the content that Juliana makes, the video we just saw. She runs her channel more like an advertisement. opposed to shopping with her or hauling stuff. The channels that regularly shop and haul stuff appear to really enjoy shopping, like shopping is the hobby, and I think the way that they influence others is different as well. Like somebody who enjoys shopping could go to Juliana's channel or Maddie's or Brooke's channel and they can still buy stuff from it. Like that's totally a potential. But I think why people might go or how people are influenced are maybe a little bit different. Because Juliana's not shopping and hauling stuff. She used to do a lot of Amazon must-haves with the speaking version, like the speaking kind of voiceover, but she's been doing the last year and a half-ish a lot of these POV style videos where she's showcasing products in action. And for these shopping channels, what it kind of feels like a little bit is just promoting shopping and all of the different interests that they have. And it feels, I'm not saying this is true, but what it feels like to me, or what it can be, is you get into this moment where you're really enjoying clothes. So you buy a lot of clothes and then you'll move on to hair products and then you move on to makeup and then you'll move on to purse items or purses themselves. And you just kind of move your shopping into categories that you haven't in a while to kind of spread the interest around and also potentially the overwhelm. Like if you're buying too many clothes, it's going to be a point where somebody gets overwhelmed. And so when that happens or when they're bored of shopping for that style, they'll move on to the other thing. And the purse towers just feels like more things to shop for, more things to buy, more things to get excited over. This kind of ownership of goods really promotes shopping as a hobby, in my opinion. And, the pleasures of shopping. I feel like these purse tower videos really appeal to people who already enjoy shopping and already have it as a hobby. So the danger here, if you will, isn't so much you don't need travel minis or you don't need 12 Tide to go pens, but it's more so being immersed in a channel or world that shops as a hobby and normalizing the large quantities of goods in many aspects of life and keeping shopping and hauling continuously on your mind. So you want to change out the items in your purse, but you don't want to do it like this. Like, what could you do instead? I think a couple of things might work. The first would be the pouch option, where you have all of your essentials in your pouch and you take that pouch from purse to purse. You get home, you take the pouch out of your purse, you put it in a place like your doorway, and then when you're leaving the next morning, you take your pouch and you put it in your purse. The second option would be maybe a tray or a box of some kind where you take all of your essentials out of your bag and you put them in your tray, and then you take what you need the next day from the tray. I'll show you examples of both. I'll show you the tray first. I'm going to put it on the screen now. She has 2 boxes, and what she said was she already had these boxes, didn't really have a use for them, decided to make them purse restock stations. And what you'll notice is that she has 1 lip gloss, 1 hand sanitizer. A lot of stuff is just one item because you don't really need multiple, but she does have some of the single-use items. She has a few of them. I'm not going to nitpick this too much. I'm just saying what I would do personally. I would have a different hand sanitizer, and I wouldn't have the single-use packs of Midol or Tylenol. What I would do is I would have like a mini bottle of Tylenol, and I would decant from my larger bottle at home. I'd put an expiration date on the front, something like that. I'd also have a hand cream that'd be in my bag. I actually brought my bag with me. This is my pouch. This is what it looks like. We have a bunch of period products, which I don't think you need to see. I have some Band-Aids. This paper hand soap thing, which I didn't buy, I think it came from a hotel. Yeah, more Band-Aids. My hand cream. I have underwear in here. Oh, I also have earplugs. So I think that there are different ways to do this without buying tons of random stuff in large quantities that you might not need. I'm also we're concluding now. I think that there is definitely a use case for some of the products mentioned in the videos, like a mini deodorant as an example. I personally take my large deodorant with me. I'll just put it in my bag. It doesn't bother me. I typically have the room for it. And I only take my deodorant when I'm going on a longer day trip, and I take my backpack for that most of the time. And so it fits. So what I'm trying to say is that I know that's not for everybody, every bag situation, and there is somebody out there who could use at least one of the products that I've talked about and said, do you need this? The point that I would like to make, and what I'd like to encourage you to think about, is when you see these videos, if you're watching them and they encourage you to shop, maybe they're just not for you, but if you're watching them and you just get the ASMR vibes and it doesn't bother you, you're probably fine. If we are compiling a purse station of some kind, I encourage you to use what you have first and think about what you actually use in your daily life and how often you use those things. If you do truly go through tons of deodorant and you have small bags, then buying 2 or 3 might make sense. If you use a Tide to Go pen, having 1 or 2 might make sense, but do you need 6 of those things? Do you need toilet wipes? Do you need wipes at all? Some people maybe yes, some people maybe no. We don't need to buy these stuff because the influencers are showing it to us as a must-have or an essential. And as well, if we do want some of these things, we don't need the trendiest, cutest, most expensive or aesthetic version. Because as mentioned, some of the stuff is being shown to us because it fits the aesthetic or the vibe or it's a higher commission. We don't need a $24 Boom Boom cream. I don't personally want my purse and filling it up to cost me $200 a year. I don't want it to cost me very much money at all. That's not where my priorities lie financially. Anyway, that's the video. That's everything from me today. I'd like to hear from you. What do you do for changing out your purses? Are you team pouch? Are you team tray? Do you do something completely different? Because I would love to hear from you too. I bet you. I want to know if any of y'all are the I have one purse, don't need to change it out kind of people. I would love to hear what you do in the comments. Thank you so much for watching and being here today. I hope you'll subscribe to catch more content like this. I said thank you for watching. What I can never say too many times. Thank you for watching. And I hope to see you back here in a couple of days. Bye. I said that really quietly. Bye.